Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started with both coach and player. We'll have a short availability with Alistair, and then we're going to bring in John right away. So we'll go with Neil Davidson and Laura Armstrong.
Thank you, Richard. Hello, Alistair. Welcome back to Canada.
Hey, Neil, thank you. Thank you.
You have a pretty good handle on the Panama captain, Anibal Godoy, I would imagine. Can you tell us what he is like and whether the Panama team is kind of cast in his type, so to speak?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the entire Panamanian team, but I know with a leader like Godoy, what they're going to be about. He's got the nickname El Samurai, and it's for a reason. He's strong into a challenge, super competitive. One of those guys that's just a winner and a leader all around. So he's been great in my Nashville locker room. He's one of the most loved guys, I think, in the league. Whenever I ask any of the older guys, they always say he's a top 3 teammate of all time, which coming from a guy like Dax McCarty is saying something. So no, he's an unbelievable competitor, an unbelievable player, and he's very good at the CONCACAF thing. You know, he's qualified for a World Cup with his team. He's great at being able to draw fouls and just dominate a midfield. He really knows how to win games in the CONCACAF, and it's something that they've shown again with that roster. You know, being the U.S. and getting out some really good results, and we know how big of a game it's going to be, and one of our keys is going to have to be to shut down him and shut down their midfield.
Thank you.
Thank you. Laura Armstrong, please.
Hey, Alistair, thanks very much for taking the time here. I'm wondering, you mentioned, Panama and him being good at, understanding how to play in CONCACAF. How do you think your group as Canada has evolved and grown and has grown the understanding of how to win games and get results in this region?
Hi, Laura. I think it's come down to just going through that longer qualification process. It's really kind of hardened us. We went down and we experienced some tough things. So, going to the Azteca, as crazy of a moment that was, it wasn't something that we weren't fully prepared for, I think, which is a real testament to this group and the characters that are within this group. I think we got great leadership from the staff and from the older players here that have really guided us and not let us get too big or get down too low either. We know that qualification is going to be a roller coaster, but we have targets that we've set, and we know what kind of points total we'll get if we want to qualify at the top of the group or get one of those automatic berths. So at the same time, it's having a really clear and focused game plan so that you just don't get caught up in the emotions of a tough result something on the road or getting, a big point at the Azteca when we felt we could add 3. It's not getting too ahead of ourselves then, because, there's going to be other games in the window that if you drop points, so let's say Panama at home, that, it flips that, how you look at that window, how well it was, how good it went. So it's one of those ones that I think just keeping a really just steady, cool, calm, collected head has been super important. And it comes down to our leadership. They've kept all of us young bucks in line and everyone fighting for the good of the cause.
Great. Thanks for the insight.
Neil?
Thanks, Richard. Hi, John. Welcome home.
Hey, Neil. Another stadium backdrop for you.
Yeah, we know this. We know this one. John, Panama, like you, had to get to the final round the hard way. And so far, so good for them. From what I understand, they're using a pretty tight group of players, physical, with some veteran leadership. What do you expect from them? And are you surprised by how well they've done so far?
No, not surprised. They're a good team. I mean, they're 2018 World Cup finalists. So they've got that veteran experience. You can see that in every game. They're just a team that can manage games very well. That game away, home, to Mexico. The third game of the group stage was a big one for me because they're a team that aren't really rotating players. They rely on a veteran core, as you've said. The guys are playing a lot of accumulated minutes. And then you watch them in a third match against Mexico. We were a little bit wounded through that phase. And they were able to be 1-0 up until the 74th minute or 75th minute. And you just see how committed and connected that group are. So coming through the hard way, I think, has hardened some of the teams similar to Canada. And they're a team that are well deserved the position they are in the table. I think this is a really important game for this country.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. John Molinaro, please.
Thanks, Richard. Hey, John. Thanks as always for taking the time to speak to us. And hope you're doing well. I'm just wondering, with regards to the result on the weekend, I mean, does that increase the urgency at all for a full 3 points here, or are we not at that point yet?
Oh, absolutely. It increases the urgency. We want to win every game, and I think with this group, we're undefeated, and we'll take pride in that mantle. But at the end of the day, we need points on the board, and this is a group that want to win. We want to win football games. We don't want to be known for having a good performance. We want to be seen as winners with that winning mentality, winning behaviors. And I think, coming into this match, if there's any game we've got to win to really set the tone, it's this one. I mean, I feel like this is a 6-point match for Canada, given where the standings are, but more importantly, where I think, Panama are going to be by the end of this journey. I think these are one of the genuine threats to a top 3 place.
Thanks, John. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. We'll move to Laura Armstrong, please.
Hey, John, thanks for the time again.
Hey, Laura.
You mentioned, changing these ties into 3 points. I'm sure it's easier said than done, given you've had good performances so far. But how do you make that leap? How do you prepare the group to try and get to that sort of next level?
Well, I think we're home. I think that's a big thing, Laura. When you're on the road, you've got a lot against you. So you're not only fighting against, your own mental performance. It'll be an opposition crowd. It'll be at times the referee. It'll be the conditions that aren't conditions that you're used to playing in. So, I think the first thing is you remove all of those excuses when you come home. We've got our crowd. We're on a familiar ground. We've been able to control our environment. Some of the guys were able to meet family members for Thanksgiving yesterday. So we're in a good space. I mean, I wouldn't say we're comfortable because I never create an environment where anyone can be comfortable. But, emotionally and mentally, we feel safe and we're at home. And I think that's a massive part when you think there's potentially 30,000 Canadians in here tomorrow night. I mean, as long as we can handle that, handle being in front of a packed out crowd, which I'm sure we've got enough winners in here that have got that experience. This could be a really good night for us. And, the edge, I think the fans will tip us over the edge. And then coming out of Jamaica, we just weren't ruthless enough in and around the penalty box. My substitutions were too late. Little learnings there. I could have injected the energy a bit earlier. So we're still learning, we're still developing, and there are some things we've seen in that game that we do need to improve.
Thanks very much, John.
But John, if you can just talk about the inspiration that this group of players, will have is having on the Canadian public in terms of their performances so far.
I think they're good men. I think anyone that knows these men, they're humble men. There's no, we've built a culture here where there is no egos. They're hardworking. Some of them are multi-millionaires. Some of them have done a lot in the game and seen a lot, but they've always got time for each other, time for the press, time for the fans. And I think that's all people want to see from their heroes, that they're real people. And you see that in their performances. You'll see they'll fight together for the jersey and they'll give everything. And I just heard Stephen Vittoria speak right at the end there, and he said, well, we'll leave every last bit of Canadian out here on the pitch tonight, tomorrow night. We'll have 30,000 fans and we'll use every bit of energy they can give us to get those 3 points. And if we take 3 points tomorrow, Richard, people will still believe. They'll keep believing, and there'll be more belief, and more people will watch, and more people will attend the games, and it's building. But we have to keep performing. We have to win, and that's the goal for tomorrow.
Thank you very much, John. That wraps up match day -1 official
you,
press
everyone.
conference, FIFA World Cup qualifiers, CONCACAF final round.